Welcome to another episode of Riding and Wrenching, the biggest little YouTube channel on the entire interwebs. I am your host, Q the Rider, and in this video, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to introduce you to the newest motorcycle in the Riding and Wrenching garage, my 22 Harley Davidson Road Glide Limited. And if you stick around to the end, you're going to get to see a promotional video that I'm doing for a slow speed challenge that's been thrown at me by none other than Jogo from Jogo's Motorcycle Adventure. So stick around to the end to see that. So let's talk about my new motorcycle here. This is a 22 Harley Davidson Road Glide Limited. I'm going to tell you three things about this bike that I like and three things that I don't like. Let's get into it. The first thing about this bike that I really like is the 114 motor. It's fast, it's pretty good with fuel economy, and it only has a couple of thousand miles on it, so it should be very reliable. This is my third Milwaukee 8 motorcycle, and I've had nothing but great success with them, so I'm looking forward to taking this thing on the road, so I'm really excited about that. Second thing I really like about this motorcycle, the infotainment screen is flawless. It works, everything works as expected. This infotainment system, the Boom GTS, it's been on several different motorcycles, or actually the Street Glide and Road Glides for the last few years, and there are really no issues with it. The third thing that I really like about this motorcycle, the suspension, which is really surprising. Actually, it's not surprising because my experience is that the Road Glide Limited and the Ultra Limited, also known as the Street Glide, the limited models, between the stock tires, the stock seat, and the stock suspension, is actually very comfortable for long distance riding. So those are the three things I really like about this motorcycle. Let me tell you three things I don't like. Number one, this motorcycle does not have tire pressure monitoring. I was shocked. I was looking for it. I'm like, well, what's the pressure on my tires? It's not there. It's 2020, well, this is a 2022 model. How could you have a motorcycle without tire pressure monitoring? I thought that was a standard. So I'm a little disappointed in that. I'm going to try to find out if that's something I can add to it, because that tire pressure monitoring is a great safety feature, and I can't imagine for the life of me why it's not standard on every motorcycle, every car, anything with pneumatic tires should have, or pneumatic, is that the right word? Air in the tires should have tire pressure monitoring. It's just a standard thing. The second thing about this bike that I don't like, it doesn't have RDRS, which means it doesn't have the hill brake assist. Once you've used that system, you learn to love it, and I think Harley Davidson did a nice job putting that system together. It's a very nice package, and I like it, but this bike doesn't have it. I don't know if that's something that can be added, and honestly, I don't think I would pay for it at this point, because it's just something that's a nice to have. I don't really see it as a safety thing. It has anti-lock brakes, and so that's good enough. The third thing about this bike that I don't like, the seat, the stock seat. And it's not that it's uncomfortable. It is a comfortable seat, but I'm 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there, and I need to be back a little bit further away. So it's just, the seat is, in my opinion, is set up for somebody that's a little bit shorter than I am. So I'm going to replace the seat. That'll probably be one of the next upgrades that I do on this bike, is doing something about this seat. All right, so there you have. Let's take a quick walk around the bike. So here it is in black and chrome. Bone stock for the most part. There's a couple of upgrades that have been done already. You have tab performance mufflers. Gotta love those. And it also has my motorcycle drop guards. Because of the way that I ride, the way that I practice, having the drop guards is something that's very important to me, because it protects the motorcycle in the event of a minor drop. There's also the guard on the primary. And the other upgrades are on the handlebars. We have the Kahuna collection heated grips, got my Zero cup mount, as well as my Zero phone holder. So that's really all there is that's done to this bike so far, but there's a lot coming down the pipeline. So we're going to turn this into the ultimate comfortable long distance touring bike. All right, as promised, I want to tell you about an event that's coming up. Robert Simmons' 3rd anniversary luncheon and ride is coming up in 2 weeks. It is, I believe, the weekend of November the 4th. But during that weekend, Jogo and I are going to have a slow race, a nice friendly race between two friends. And what's going on here? What's that sound?
Q, the rider, he's the snake to my mongoose, or the mongoose to my snake. Either way, it's bad. I don't know animals very well, but I do know this time it's personal. Kill him.
That was dirty, Joe. You're going to pay for that. This was going to be a friendly, slow race. Now it's personal. It's me and you, pal. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you so bad I'm going to turn your bike blue. Wait a minute, it's already blue, but it's going to turn sad. It's going to cry. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you down. You're mine. In November, it's going down. Q, the rider, versus Jogo. Now it's personal.